Hello, and welcome. Today is February 20th, 2025, Thursday. I wanted to put together this video to explain to you what Price Action Pivoter V5Ai did today and yesterday when it came to trades for the SPOOs. Now, what you're seeing on your screen, of course, is the ES chart, and Price Action Pivoter V5Ai has been enabled on this chart. You can see this is the data box. We're on February 20th, 2025. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Let me just quickly show you what it's got. It's basically showing the mid-pivot points PHL indicators, price levels, which is important, which is part of the discussion I'm going to have with you about today's video, because price levels do make a difference. I'm going to go ahead and close this out now. And this, of course, is the Higher Edge AI Python terminal that's running. That is also part of the Price Action Pivoter V5Ai suite. It's producing for you the signals that are being written to the TXT file, which is being read from Price Action Pivoter V5 in real time. But the analysis of the signals that my code is doing isn't just the analysis of the signals. It's more than that. It's price action also. Part of price action, of course, is price level, the actual price levels that we're trading on. So what you see here is all of these lines here, they are part of the mid-pivot points PHL. These are different price levels that pretty much every trader in the market is looking at. So we've got everything from pivots, traditional pivots, as well as Fibonacci pivots, as well as mid pivots. That's the M that you saw there in the data box. Like S1M, for example, that's a mid pivot for S1, as well as 2 days ago high, 2 days ago low, prior high, prior low, price levels in essence that the market is watching. And so today's activity was pretty simple, 2 trades. This is the second trade. Let me show you the first one. And the first one really gave me the idea for this video because I wanted to discuss price levels here. So you see this entry right here, it entered right there, it went in the direction of the trade, and then boom, got stopped out. That was a $500 stop there. So the question comes, up as to, Rafi, well, why didn't it go here? This looked like it was a short opportunity. Did the signals miss this? No, the signals did not miss it. Let me share it with you. In fact, the signals caught it way before the RTH market opened. So the market opens my time, Pacific Standard Time, 6:30 a.m. And you'll see here, this is, of course, my machine's time. So 5:51 a.m. in the morning, it was already getting the short signals right off the bat. Okay, so if you can compare that to the actual chart here, so right around that time, it was already getting the short signals way before this price action happened. So the question comes up is, if you're getting the signals, Rafi, why isn't the system entering somewhere here? Why did it wait until it got all the way here until it made the actual trade? And that's very simple. So the answer to that is from the strategy itself, and this is something that you can control. So this is the price action pivoter strategy, the parameters, and of course Monday through Friday is loaded. You'll see everything here is 6:30 to 12:30. This 12:50 is the desired profit that the training model is being traded on when it collects these 60 pieces of data variables that it's being trained on. And then as we go lower here, you'll see this data right there, okay? So let me focus on that. The minimum measured move till next resistance long, minimum measured move till next support short. So if you are, and they're both at $200, okay, let's remember that because it's going to be an important critical piece of data right there. So it's at $200 each. What does that mean? Okay, if the system is going short, that means let's pretend we're right here. Okay, we're at this big, beautiful red bar right there. It's 6:34, my time, Pacific Standard Time. Okay, so if it were to go short, what it's looking for is that the next support level is at least $200 away. So what's the next support level? Right here, S1 mid. S1 mid, you see it right there, okay? So that level is at 61.4225. The close of this bar is at 61.4550, okay? It has to be at least $200 away, but it's not. And so if you do the math, there's 61.45.50, and you subtract it from 61.4225, you don't get to $200. It's below $200. And so obviously every handle is $50, so that's below $200, and it does not enter the trade. So it missed that opportunity, even though it was getting the signals. In fact, I can show you the signals once again so we go over those. So earlier in the morning, before even 6:30, half an hour and change before 6:30 RTH open, we're already getting the short signals. But if as you go down here, you're going to see 6:31, 6:35, 6:36, the considered short signals are still coming in, but it did not enter the trade, and for that reason, because it was never $200 away from the next support level. And so if you continue with that same train of thought here, every single time you got a signal, the next price level, the next support level was not $200 away. So it got, let's say it got a signal here, it was not $200 away. It got a signal here, it was not $200 away because of S2 mid right here. Okay, so that's S2 mid at 61.2350, and here is 61.2625. It's still not $200 away. So it finally took all the way down. Here it's not either. Okay, so here you have 61.16.75. This is 61.13. I mean, we're very close to $200, but we're not at $200. Okay, so it's got to be $200 or more, so that it's not there. This one is $200 further away than the next support level, because at the entry at 61.0850, the next support level was at S3 mid at 60.94. Excuse me, 60.94 right there. Okay, so it entered that one, but of course it got stopped out. It had a little bit of profit right here between what is that, 61.08 until 61.02, and then it went immediately against the trade. But there was a second entry on the trade, as you saw at the beginning of the video. This one, that was long, and that one did end up with a time exit. But this one almost nailed the top on the time exit at 12:59 exit, and that's my flatten everything time at 12:59. And it essentially took that exit there. So those are the two trades. In fact, let me show you two of yesterday's trades as well. This was Thursday's trades. Now I'm going back to Thursday's trades. I'll go slowly because when I go fast, sometimes it gets a little bit confusing in the video. So I'm going a little bit slower here just so that you guys can see everything that I'm doing. Okay. All right. So this is now Wednesday's trades. And by the way, I did enable this Wednesday morning. It started looking for trades at 6:33 a.m. my time. And the reason for that is because I enabled it at 6:25 a.m. my time because I had to reboot. And so after that reboot, I enabled it. And by the time it takes 5 minutes for the Python terminal to essentially index the CSV data. And then after that, it starts running through the signals. It took 3 minutes for it to process 5 days of data. So I ran it Wednesday morning. So on the 19th at 6:33 a.m., it was already live and looking for trades. And so essentially it entered right off the bat on a long trade. It was a nice win right there, right off the bat. So the trailing stop booked that profit. Of course, it went up and down, and so on and so forth, as it tends to do in the market. Let me show you what happened next. So finally got the short signal right off the bat. It was beautiful. Okay, it did really well from 61.62 all the way down to 61.52. You would think everything is going to be great, but it 12:59 my time, PM, obviously. Right there, it took a tiny little loss right there, point and change. Okay, so 61.62 until 61.30, so 1.25 loss. But if I had that flat and everything at, let's say, 1 o'clock my time or 1:01, this would have been the result. Okay, so it would have been that one would have been a winner as well. Or if it essentially the trailing stop had moved here, that would have also, but I had my trailing stop at 800, 400, and the 400 has to have an adverse AI signal. There was no adverse AI signal. The signals were still coming in the short direction, essentially. And so there was no, so it was correct. The signal was correct. It went down. But this is what happened. However, the last 2 days, the performance, so I can share it with you guys. It was 8.25 for the last 2 days. Let's break down the trades. It's everything that I showed you. It's only 4 trades, so it's not difficult to remember. But it's at 62 loss on that Wednesday trade. And then, of course, as I just said earlier, the $500 right off the bat today. Okay, so let's look at the entry time so you guys can see it. Okay, so this was yesterday. This is today, 7:01 a.m. And then, of course, this one was a winner at 9.75. So both days, green days, overall 8.25. But so the point of today's video was to share with you the importance of price levels, okay? And it is something that you guys can obviously completely disable if you wanted to, or increase, decrease, whatever you're comfortable with. So let me go back there again, right there. So I have it at 200. I've done some back testing at 150. I've done some back testing at 100. I've also put it at 0, which effectively turns it off. I've also put it at higher numbers like 300, 400. I've sort of settled at 200 for ES, okay? But there is, in everything that you do in trading, guys, everything that you do has a positive and a negative, a positive and a negative. Just remember that, okay? Every little thing that you change has a positive and a negative, all right? So what you're trying to do is when you make these tiny changes is you're trying to increase the positivity and decrease the negativity, but you will never be able to get out of that yin and yang, if you will. There's always going to be something positive, something negative in everything that you do. Right? Let's walk through some examples. So let's say I had put it at 150. Today would have been great. It would have entered much sooner. at $150. That $50 difference, it would have entered much sooner. So I ran some back tests just for ES and NQ all the way from 6/2 to 2/18. So on the website, you'll see the back test that's running from 6/2 until 1/14, so January 14 of 2025. So I ran the signals again just for the remainder of the time, so until 2/18. I just added it to the additional signals that were already on the website. And if you guys need it, you can always download it from the website as far as the signals that I have for NQ and ES. So at least June 2nd until January 14th will be covered for you. Whatever is missing since then, you just run the signals on a chart by enabling V5Ai and produce the signals, copy and paste those signals into the main TXT file that you're going to be running the back test on, which in my case is right there. Okay. And that's it. You run the back test. This is what I got for NQ. Compare that to what's on the website later on. And these are the results so far. Hypothetical back-tested results. That was for NQ, and this was for ES. Okay? So this is 1 tick of slippage, NQ is 2 ticks of slippage. And this is also to 218, as you can see here as well. And total number of trades you can see. And don't forget to subtract commissions. So assume, just to make the numbers easy, this was 1,000 trades. Multiply that by 5. Okay, let's say that'd be $5,000. So you subtract that from that $155,000. You'd end up with $150 there over this 8-month give or take period right there of back testing. And this, I believe, is sufficient enough back testing. But I do have clients who've done amazing work, by the way, who've shared their signals and their, their back tested results using their signals. And they've gone back a year and a half. And it's basically just extrapolate the numbers. It's pretty much across the board, it's going backwards. But the results have been very impressive to me. That's all I have to share for this video. Hope this has been helpful. Until next time, take care of yourselves and God bless.